Stan starts leading you back to the way you came, and you trail behind him, a little skeptical, but definitely curious. Didn't you say the founder would lead this tour? Is Seuss the founder? But Stan laughs. What? No, I'm the founder. Built this place from the ground up. Ooh. Well, metaphorically speaking, I mean, the house was here, and the junk was here, but I was the one who spun this place into a wondrous house of mysterious junk. Stan gestures with his arms like he's smoothing out a rainbow. You're not very impressed. Oh, he's like, imagination. Prepare to be amazed. You're still not very impressed, but his energy gets you hoping he'll be amazed. Anyway, there's a tour group in the showroom right now, so I'll be taking you in a different cycle that completely misses them. We're starting in the gift shop. You enter the gift shop, a simple, crowded room, top to bottom with standard tour souvenirs and merchandise. You see t-shirts with question marks, mugs with question marks, and pretty much everything has question marks. In one corner of the room stands a lumpy attempt of a statue labeled The Founder, recognizable as Stan, only by the nose and glasses. This room usually comes after I butter the customers up to buy things, but since you're staying a while, I'll have plenty of time to sell you stuff later. Always sell your guest stuff, why not? Take a look around. If you see an impulse buy, make it. Nothing like trusting your instincts. Of course, why not? Pine tree hat. Ooh, we can be different, guys. Ooh. Freezer full of ice goods, prior to mugs, employee of every month. Actually, you know what? I will be right back. Give me 1 second. I have something for that. Give me a second. Yeah! Anyways. Pine tree hat! Dipper used to wear one of those. Seuss tells me they sold like hotcakes after Ford tossed his journals in the bottomless pit. Funny, those events have no correlation. I wonder why. Journals? Bottomless pit? We'll have a chance to swing by the bottomless pit later. I'd love to. It's a prime spot on every tour because, well, the troublemakers always accidentally tripped in and get it, and I get to lead the tour without them for 20 minutes. I'm kidding. Should have seen the look on your face. Oh, I thought we could buy it. Well, what's the founder statue then? Yeah, I should have asked Mabel to carve it. You gotta admit that every version of me's got a charming style though. Jar of eyeballs? Thought we sold this thing years ago. Nah, I forgot to put a price in it. Just has a dollar sign in it. Stan leaves a dark marker and squeezes in a $9.99. For $10, you get a jar of eyeballs, guys. Then he goes back to make it $29.99. Of course, why not? That jar's got a lot of eyeballs. Makes sense. Who doesn't love a good souvenir t-shirt? They're great for layering. And they've got the characteristic Mystery Shack question mark on them. What makes it a Mystery Shack question mark instead of just a regular question mark? You ask so many questions. Or do you? He says that last part in a gyrated tone that betrays it as a sales pitch. This guy has no subtlety. As the calendar. I absolutely know how to read that thing, and you should buy it. He does not know how to read that thing. Just because you're staying over does not mean you get to sneak over here for a popsicle. I get to do that, but that's because this used to be my place, and I get founder benefits. I also get founder dibs on the pineapple ice pops. Pair of middle mugs? You can't actually take one out of that stack. I glued them together the way back when. Secret business trick. And you're telling me because no one will ever believe you. Then they'll try it, and the whole stack will fall to the floor. He's got a point there. You notice the breaking you buy it sign on the wall. Employee of every month. Seuss has always been the hardest worker in the place. It was only natural to hand it over to him. You know what? That makes sense because Wendy's literally just on the goddamn magazine like, sure, buddy. You sure? Well, I think I hear the tour group heading out in the showroom anyway. Wow, now, most tourists don't appreciate nature's artistic genius, by which I mean my artistic genius, because I remembered you're gonna help me out today. You don't think up a money-making wonder like Sasquatch by having a boring 9 to 5 office job. You think it up when you wonder, why hasn't anyone found the Sasquatch? Could it be that its name has been mispronounced this whole time? Anyway, just let me know when you're soaked up enough inspiration for this room, because you're gonna need it to use right after. Wow. What a room. Wow. Alright, come on, you're gonna see what this makes this place the mystery shack instead of just the shack. We're making another attraction for the showroom. You follow Stan through the living room to the kitchen, where stuffing and animal parts are sewn across a surface to your left. Stan pulls out a thick needle in a spool of tray, and as an afterthought adds a couple nails and a hammer to the pile. It seems a little unsanitary to do this right across from the fridge, and has the potential to look almost gruesome if it weren't so oddly cartoonish. Like this whole place seems oddly cartoonish. He steps up to the workspace and pulls out the googly eyes that have been glued over the lifeless, glassy ones typical of taxidermy. Mabel's contributions to the craft project remain firmly intact. Huh. That's what I get for letting Mabel bring her stash of scrapping supplies. That's one more thing to add to the backstory. Backstory? Well, you don't really think tourists are dumb enough to believe that your thing you're selling them is what you're telling them. It's just like that, do you? Because if you do, you'll be set to do business in Gravity Falls. Anywhere else though, customers take a little more work. See, every good piece comes with some kind of story. Or, if you're Poindexter, some kind of lore. Horror stories work pretty well, because with enough suggestion, people can always find ways to spook themselves. I've done it for years. It's kind of an art. Stan appears nonchalant, but you see a quiet pride within him. Sounds easy. Sounds pretty easy. Stan merely looks amused. Oh yeah? Let's see you take a shot at it after we put this thing together. You said you've done this for years? I can do it in 4 seconds. Always had a knack for it, even when I was a kid. Sure, there was a little learning curve involved, and I've had a few unhappy customers over the years. Stan pauses, seemingly to reminisce. He's doing like a little flashback thing. And the mixed smile grimace on his face tells you he probably had many unhappy customers. But mostly, I've run a great business on telling lies. I mean stories. You're learning from a true master, kid. So why don't you run this place anymore? Stan's grin melts into something softer, maybe a little bittersweet. My brother wanted to drag me off on a trip with him. Couldn't say no, and I couldn't just close the place, so I left it all to Seuss. Practically grew up in this place, definitely wouldn't have entrusted it to Wendy. She's usually cashier around here in the summer. It's weird having to explain all this to you. I keep thinking you already know all this. 'Cause I do. You work like you're still part of this place. You can take a man out of the mystery shack, but you could never take the mystery out of a man. Specifically me, which is why I'm back to work even though I don't have to. 30 years of the same routine will do that to you. What was your original vision for the shack? Vision? Make money. What other vision do you need? Of course, why not? But over the years, sure, I've used the mystery line for advertising. Who isn't curious? Who doesn't want to be amazed? Kids are the most skeptical of the bunch, though. Let me tell you, once they hit about 8 or 9, they love trying to prove it's all fake. Then they get older and realize there's nothing good left in the world unless you pretend there is, and everyone pretends along with you because they're all desperate. Facts. That is so facts. Damn. Stan turns all his attention back to the workspace, and you notice once more the daunting selection of items that lay upon the table. It's not the number, but the variety that makes you unsure of how you're going to craft something out of this. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do with this stuff. Surprise me! Stan walks off to the side to, you guess, do some work of his own. You're glad he's not going to watch you do the whole way through. I hate when people do that. I hate it. It makes me so goddamn anxious when people just watch me work. I'll be like, what's up? How you doing? How are you gonna approach this? Keep things a nice mix of matched and mismatched. Why not? Now, how should you keep these parts attached? Use some hand stitching and really tie this all together. Okay, now you have a base to work off of. What next? Color in some of the fur and put some googly eyes in that shit. Hey Stan, I'm finished. Good enough. Sam picks your disturbing creation up gingerly. So what's the theory here? Give it to me. How do you want to approach this? Just have fun with it. This is a fish squirkin'. A fish squirrel chicken. Stan nods appraisingly. Sounds like you got the hang of this. Alright, this thing's about as close to show ready as it'll get. Wait here a sec. Stan carries the showpiece out of the room. After a few moments, he hears his footsteps return, and he comes into the room with 2 cans of Pick Cola. Stan sets one down on the dining table. It's condensation starting a slow drip onto the turtle surface. He waves you over to join him, and you slide into the sea across from him. Nothing like a cold one to finish off the day. Cheers! Cheers, Stan! He picks up his can, gesturing towards you with it as he leans leisurely back on the chair, and you watch as he takes a sip. It's a nice looking sip. And now you're staring. You pull over your own can. Pop it open. So, got any questions for me? Talking tends to ease me into a new place. Might do the same for you. About 4. Let's talk. Is Ford usually like that? You mean trying to fix what ain't broken and ending up making trouble? Nah, he was a good twin growing up. You were the troublemaker. I can tell. Stan laughs. You have no idea about the exhibits. The showroom already seemed full when I saw it earlier. Why make more? Tourists love variety. Put up a sign advertising a new attraction and they'll come pouring through the doors. When I started this place, I didn't think I'd, like making these. Used to be just another thing that made money. Now I'm stuck with it. Guess it's 30-something years out of a routine to do that to a man. Stan sounds gruff, but it's a wrong gruffness. Sixer says keeping familiar habits helps too, so I've kept it up. You think I could sell more of these as art pieces? Yes. Yeah, I could play them up to buyers and sell them at even more ridiculous prices than I usually would. I'd buy one. I'm holding you to that. Let's ask about him. So tell me about yourself. Stan laughs nervously. What is this, first date? Whoa! Well, I'm Pines. Stan Pines. Imaginator. Town darling. Used to be proprietor of the Mystery Shack. Sounds like a Walt Disney dude. He pauses and stays paused. You give an expectant look that wants him to continue. Clears his throat. Nervous. What, you were serious? I don't, get this often. Long as I can get people to listen to me is when I'm selling them something, and even then it's tough luck. Last time someone listened to me, they tried to eat me. Can you believe that? I bet they got much meat left on me. Whoa. Stan? I am not like that. Sorry. And? Keep going. You can't just end it there. Stan gives an uncertain smile, which becomes a full-on grin, and he laughs. Alright, I'll tell you. So, you see, there's this irresistible thing called revenge. Stan tells you a tale of a road trip, a mountain full of mummies, and a woman who was secretly a spider. You don't believe a word of it, but finding yourself enjoying it anyway. Stan knows how to hold his audience in a decent suspense, and he seems to light up whenever you laugh at the right parts, grinning along with you. Before today, you'd never even heard of the Mr. Mystery before, but now, you feel like you're really seeing something special here, one-on-one with the man himself. About his past. You're really interested in me, huh? Or do you ask everyone these kind of questions? I ask everyone these kind of questions. I'm interested in everyone. I'm mainly interested in you. Hey guys, we can go the dating route or we can go like the general route. I'm mainly interested in you. Alright, ever heard of smuggling pugs? Yes. You're lying, because everyone in business is good at keeping secrets. Really good. So am I telling you now? I'm out of the business. I don't care. This absolutely isn't so that if the authorities question you, you'll give false information that leads them off my trail. Right. Stan loads you up with false information that may or may not contain kernels of truth within them. It's surprisingly hard to tell whether the crazier parts are embellishment or the real deal. Stan tips his head back to that final sip of spit, then sets his empty can down with an air of finality. Well, you did good for your first try. If you felt like helping me around again sometime, returning the favor on the car, let me know. You nod, and Stan gives up to leave, when you remember something. Wait, I still owe you the price of admission, right? For the tour earlier? Nah, don't worry about it. Gives me something to hold over you if I need it. He says that and he leaves, but even from what you've seen from him, you feel like Stan's not the type to really hold that over you. At least not for anything serious. This tourist trap might have more to offer than you thought. Love me! It looks like we were made for each other! Can you give me dating tips? You're good at this. I can't even. You wake up to a loud crash downstairs. Not entirely uncommon in this house, you're quickly finding out, but still disconcerting. More clatters and thumps lead you to the kitchen, where Mabel teeters on a short stepladder in front of the pantry. Standing on her tiptoes, she reaches as high as she can for a small yellow box on the top shelf. Pancake mix. Without a word, you go to her side and pluck the box from the shelf for her, placing it into her outstretched hand. That is very unlikely. I can tell you that right now, with how small I am as well. Oh, thank you. Uncle Sam put it on the top shelf for some reason, but I want... No need. Some Mabel cakes. It's a breakfast emergency. She waggles her free fingers in your face, and you can't help but laugh, but you can tell the house becomes more alive when this kid's around. Want to help me make them? We only need chocolate milk, coffee, pink food coloring, and a pot of gold O's to make this breakfast dream a breakfast reality. As delicious as that sounds, it does sound delicious. F you, game. You're inclined to ask whether the coffee comes into the mix when you realize the house is suspiciously quiet. Mabel, where's everybody? I gotta charge the thing. Mabel, where's everybody? Oh, Grunkle Stan needed stuff for your car, so we went to go get the mechie techie stuff for that. I think Grunkle Ford's somewhere. He heard the abominable bro man was trying to steal soda from campers, so he went to help him out. Yep, that's where he went. Totally knew that. So they left you guys to make breakfast on your own? You don't know family well enough yet to know this is commonplace. So the idea of leaving two teenagers alone to fend for themselves seems fine. One of the teenagers was Mabel anyway. You still don't know how coffee fits into her Mabel cakes, but now you don't really want to know. Dipper attempts to hide the pancake mix from Mabel while she's grabbing the chocolate milk from the fridge. Apparently doesn't want to find out either. Mabel, while your Mabel cakes sound absolutely divine, why don't we, quick think of something you don't hurt feelings. Go out for breakfast! Is there somewhere we can go out to get breakfast? We should really save the Mabel cakes till your great uncles get back. I know they wouldn't want to miss them. But when I will perfect my recipe, I have to get better at cooking and baking and stuff so I can survive out in the real world. What if in high school I have to bake stuff and people are better than me? Mabel looks very agitated, tugging at her hair with both hands. If I can't make the perfect Mabel cakes, I can never be on Bad Dreams Dining. I can impress Gerald Rambones. It's my destiny. Can you cook, Dipper? Maybe Dipper can help you make something different. We should save the Mabel cakes for another day. A more special day. But Mabel, still standing on the stepladder, reaches up and squishes your cheeks together, her eyes wide and staring at your soul. Every day is a special day with Mabel cakes. You glance at Dipper. Sweet, sweet Dipper. Please help me and I'll buy you breakfast face. You hope he understands. Oh yeah, Mabel, I know you want to cook more since you're becoming an adult. Sure, but don't you think Uncle Stan and Grand Uncle Ford should be here to try them too? Not just me. Again. Mabel hops off the stepladder and ponders her brother's question, lips pursed. Eventually she nods, beaming at you both. You're right, Dipper. Can't deny them that experience. You give Dipper a thankful smile over Mabel's head as she puts the ingredients back in the refrigerator. He grins back at you, rubbing the back of his neck. You wonder if he got that from one of his grunkles. That's clever. Now that you think about it, great plus uncle makes grunkle. Saves time on syllables. We should go to Greasy's. They have some of the best pancakes there, with like 3 different kinds of syrup if you ask Lazy Susan nicely. Yeah, it's not super far. Let's go. The kids are about to head out of the kitchen when you realize something. Wait, aren't you going to leave a note for your grunkles about where you're going? Oh, right. Good call. Dipper scribbles out a note for Sam and Flora and sticks it on the front door of the shack with one of Mabel's stickers. The kids lead the way towards the town, explaining various landmarks and the wild and wonderful stories attached to them along the way. And this is where we saw 2 ghostly old people. In a convenience store? Strange, but regardless. Maybe it just meant they were so old they looked like ghosts. No, they were actually ghosts, bro. Dipper points out to the diner in distance, a log-shaped building atop a train cart, and the 3 of you head inside. You soon realize that the kids know just about everyone in the town. Several people, young and old, wave at them as the 3 of you find a table, and you get the feeling that they're almost famous in Gravity Falls, though you're not entirely sure why. Because look at Dipper's sweet face. And Mabel's so cool too. They're pretty cute though. Yeah, he is. Mabel pulls the paper wrapper over straw Dipper's face, and he retaliates by swatting her with the laminated menu. An elderly woman in pastel pink waitress dress comes up to the table, and you catch the name on her tag. Susan. Hiya, kids! And stranger, what can I get for ya? Pancakes and all 3 sips for me, please, Lazy Susan. Same for me, actually. Lazy Susan turns to you, notepad in hand. What will you get? Pancakes! Coming right up, sweetie! Lazy Susan winks with her good eye, of course, and heads back to the diner. Wait for your food to arrive feels longer here than most, mainly due to Mabel and Dipper using this time to interrogate you. At first, it's somewhat intimidating. You literally crashed into their house and started hanging out with their great uncles, so they have lots of questions. Like I do. Once the irrational fear of 2 13-year-olds fades out, you recognize their interview for what it really is. They care about their uncles. If you do start hanging out with them more, they want to know as much about you as possible. Mabel's questions are somewhat nonsensical. So, if you were stranded on a deserted island with no boat, no cheating, what would you take with you? My dog, my uke, and my phone. Yeah, that's what I would take. While Dippers are more careful and calculated. What were you doing before you came here? School? Work? Both? Neither? Both. Did you know about Gravity Falls before you crashed into the shack? Yes, I did. You merely know which grunkle each twin takes after. Stan and Mabel, goofy partners in crime, versus the quiet brainiacs, Ford and Dipper. It's an intriguing contrast, especially now that you're thrown into the middle of the bunch. But as the twins race to see which syrup bottle drips into their mouths the fastest, Dipper's blueberry syrup beats Mabel's classic maple by half a millisecond. You swear on it. You know that these kids do a lot more for their great uncles than just be cute counterparts. And here we go. Enjoy, kiddos. Let me know if you need anything else. Lazy Susan gives out the respective plates, and the kids go quiet, shoveling their food like they've never been fed before. Between mouthfuls, you get a few more questions about yourself and your theories on aliens versus which member of Synchronized was your favorite. But the table is near silent as the 3 of you eat. That is, until Mabel speaks up through a mouthful of pancake. So, in a totally made up and not real situation, you had to pick who your favorite was. Who'd you pick, Uncle Santa or Uncle Ford? This seems too bland to compare to her other cutesy questions. Dipper elbows her sister not so subtly, and she elbows him right back, wide eyes staring at him in a sibling-link look, and you can't decipher it. Like, say in your movie, like one of those weird movies Uncle Stan watches on TV with the ladies in poofy dress riding horses. Awfully specific, but you let her continue taking another bite of your food. You're the main character of this movie, and you got 2 guys who are both madly in love with you. This one doesn't mess around with getting right to the point, huh? But you could marry one of them, so you could be the next in line for the throne. What would you do? Uncle Stan and Uncle Ford were your choices. Who would you go with? Mabel. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, really weird. Kind of gross. I'd go with you, Dipper. Come on, Dipper. This is important information that's vital to my research. What research? None of your business yet. Hold on. None of your business yet. But I'm still gathering other research. Mabel leans towards Dipper's ear to whisper, waggling her brow at you before she replies. And not a whisper, but quite the opposite. Research in how you're a huge nerd. And with that, Mabel catapults a spoonful of melted butter from atop her pancakes onto Dipper's cheek with a very satisfying splash. Dipper jerks in disgust, but retaliates by smearing strawberry syrup to Mabel's nose, a drop of stickiness popping onto her sweater. Ew, gross! You're gross! There's no vitriol between the twins, but lots of giggles and a few more berries food missiles. Eventually, syrup streaks Mabel's cheekbones and some of her hair, and Dipper has a small piece of pancake stuck to his face. I'll get it for you, Dipper. You guys are dorks. Maybe you're right, but we're twins, so it's adorable. If you say so, Mabel. Wait, quick! Take a picture of us while Dipper's got pancake on his face. I have what? Hell yeah! He swipes quickly at his face, and after several passes, gets it off. Aw, I was trying to get more candid pictures of us. Mabel, you have syrup everywhere. Really? Ah, then it would have been a perfect photo. Here, let me get it. Your hands are sticky enough. You get back up with a napkin in hand and try to wipe some of the syrup off of Mabel's cheeks. Her cheeks. The excess syrup swipes off easily, but a good portion doesn't break. I mean, maybe syrup as makeup is the next new look. That's one word for a kid. Stan! Ford! Leanne Ford! We wonder where you went once we came back to the suspiciously quiet house. If it weren't for Dipper's note, we would have been worried. Sixer would have been worried. I tried to tell him you kids put this kind of stuff all the time. Heading out unannounced, putting stress on your poor gruntled heart. He hands over his heart dramatically. All those missing hours of unpaid child labor. Actually, that note wasn't me. Well, I wrote it. But she's the one who said we should, so that you know where we went. Both Ford and Stan turn to look at you, surprised. Really? Figured these two knuckleheads dragged you here. Why not make breakfast at home? This place is at least 15-minute walk from the shack. Well, you glance at Dipper, swiping his finger across Mabel's cheek and licking the blueberry syrup off. Mabel has a pancake in her mouth, chewing in on it like a grazing sheep. I wanted to treat them to something. I guess it's the least I can do. You're letting me stay with you and fixing my car. I thought since you guys were gone, I'd take these two out for a change. Also, Mabel was gonna make maple cakes again. You're just mad you can't even make toast right. But yes, I can. I burned it one time. One time. Dipper holds his syrup-tipped finger in the air, indignant. Well, Mabel wanted you guys to enjoy her maple cakes too, and since there wasn't much food, I figured I'd take them out. Ford asked Mabel about her creation, wondering how much extra caffeine one can gain from adding instant coffee to the concoction. But Stan stays quiet. You catch him out of the corner of your eye. He's staring at you. A lopsided smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Thanks. Appreciate it. Oh, no problem at all. You smile warmly at Stan despite the heat spreading over your cheeks, but he's rubbing the back of his neck, looking down to his feet. Mabel throws a theatrical wink your way. You're not sure why. Well, kid, if you're paying, scoot over, Dipper. I want breakfast too. Stanley, it's at least 12:30 now. Grunkle Ford, that means it's time for brunch. Duh. See, this kid gets me. Now let me in so I can get some grub. Dipper moves to your side of the booth as Stan sits next to Mabel, and Ford sits at Dipper's side. Lacey Susan comes back and takes order for another round of food or drinks, and everyone, including Mabel, who decides she wants some more pancakes. You're starting to get regret offering to pay, but as Stan and Mabel try their hand at the syrup drips race, with Dipper cheering them on, Ford watching with a wide grin on his face. You know you don't really mind that much. What a family moment, guys. Over the next few days, you continue to help out Mystery Shack. Not out of obligation, but because you have nothing better to do. Besides Seuss, practically the Golden Retriever people is really digging the input on the current installments for him and outside his protection. Bless his soul, the guy even offered you a job if you ended up stranded here forever, dude. And need to make your life for yourself. Stan nearly choked on his ice pop as he overheard. Thinking about it now, the relationship between Seuss and Stan is unexpected. If not a little odd, but it makes me smile that no matter how many times Stan may roll his eyes as he does it, he'll always help Seuss get something done just right. He's like a father figure to him, man. His dad's never really there. Showered and dressed, you go outside as per usual, but don't see anyone. After a few minutes search, you find Stan standing with his back to you in one of the exhibit rooms, admiring the weird and wonderful He's collected for his torch up, hand at his chin in thought. Am I interrupting something important between you and the goose turkey? Stan turns to the sound of your voice, smiling. Nope. You need something? You have any plans today? He mulls your question over for a few moments, giving you an assessing looking up and down. I got a couple errands to run. Why, you want to tag along? Only if you need a partner in crime. Actually, I'm gonna go see what... Depends what kind of errands you've got in mind. I could go with either of these three over here. Depends what kind of errands you got in mind. Just your usual weeknight stops. We need a getaway driver and none of these kids are legal. He's joking. You think. Alright, I'm heading out in a couple hours. Meet me out front. Couple hours, but no buts. You can't rush this stuff. Trust me. Okay. Sure. Not ominous at all, Stan. Yeah, meet me out front if you think you can handle it. He turns to go but stops for a second, then turns back. Oh, and we're back. Something in mind getting dirty. And before you can ask why he's gone into the depths of the shack, we're gonna do some crime. We're doing some crime, guys. A couple hours turns into a handful, which you pass by watching some TV, with Mabel and Dipper dozing off. You have no idea what kind of satellite to get out here, but the shows on now are some of the most bizarre programming you've ever seen. Hey, you can't go wrong with Duck Detective, okay? Once you've had enough of waiting, you change into your darkest clothes and sit out on the front steps of the shack, watching as the sun starts to sink past the trees. It's cloudy and usually warm for this time of the day, but there's a nice breeze out. It's strange that these errands need to happen so late in the day, considering the things you've gathered about his criminal's past. However, maybe this is a typical weekday night for Stan. The screen door creaks and out comes Stan, dressed in all black just like you are, with a lumpy duffel bag under one arm and a briefcase in the other hand. As he's about to speak, we're gonna do some kind of illegal trade here. As he's about to speak, a sudden gust of wind comes along and ruffles his hair, and he smooths it down irritably before regaining his cool and nodding at you. Ready? Ready. You slide into the passenger seat, as Stan settles into the driver's seat. It takes a couple of tries to start, but the engine is chugging away by the time you get your seatbelt on. The radio stammers to life as the engine does, spitting out generic-sounding rock music into the lighter scented air of the car's interior. If this guy was my age, if he was my age, my type, I would totally love the rock music. Okay, look. If I ever go on a date, the dude better be playing rock music. He better be playing rock music, because I swear, if he does play rock music, that's the guy. That's my guy now. After a moment spent adjusting bearings and fiddling with knobs, Stan slots the gear shift into the drive and pulls out the mystery shack slot and down the road to town. The radio's on. The Sam tips his fingers on the steering wheel to the beat of music while he drives. Highway to hell! Yeah, I'm on a highway to hell! So, I take it we're not making a quick trip for milk and eggs? He laughs and glances over at you. Nope. Then where are we going? First stop is to see a buddy of mine, a hunter. I get all my taxidermy supplies from him. So that's where you get your parts from? Yeah. Oh, I just figured you got them from a local farm or something. And do business with those hippies? Not a chance. Well, I really enjoyed making that showpiece with you the other day. I had no idea you were so creative. He glances over at you with poorly hidden surprise, turning almost immediately back to the road and shrugging. He's just like, it's just gluing stuff together, really. That's one way to talk about it. Okay. No, really, it takes a lot of skill. No, really, it takes a lot of skill. You have a real gift to it. Turns to you again, his cheeks go a little pink when he sees a smile you give me. Well, thanks. After a moment, he faces the road again, but now he's tapping on the rhythm of the song with a little more enthusiasm and even humming to the chorus as he along. Drive way to hell! I said it wrong. Highway. I'm half a teacher! Do you have any other hobbies? He rolls his shoulder back in a shrug, head tilting off a bit towards the window. These days I spend most of my time out on the boat with Ford, hunting monsters, discovering things. He pauses, watching the road with that expression. I used to box. Really? It shows. Really? It shows. He looks at you again, grinning. That's amazing. I wish I had grown up doing stuff like that. I wouldn't mind showing you a few things if you wanted. I'd like that. Or, oh, I don't think I'd be any good at it. Oh, I don't think I'd be any good at it. Hey, with me teaching you, you'll be throwing a mean left hook on in no time. After about 20 minutes through scenery, Stan pulls off the road onto a long gravel driveway that disappears into the woods. Is this the place? Stan nods and rounds a turn to reveal a clearing populated by a trailer home and a couple of sheds. The trailer is a bit run down and shabby, and one of the sheds looks like it's about one strong sneeze from collapsing. Not really a place you want to be out at night, while alone with a guy you particularly just met. Be honest, did you bring me here to murder me? Stan laughs, cutting the engine, resting his arm on the back of the front seat. Unfortunately, you figured it out, so now I definitely gotta kill you. Oh no! I'm kidding, kid, relax. He moves to get out of the car, then turns back with a creepy blank expression on his face. Or am I? You chuckle nervously. Not if I do it first. How do you know I'm not gonna do it first, huh? You chuckle nervously and he laughs again, pushing the door open. Seriously, I'm kidding, it won't be long. The door to the trailer, Stan knocks. The door opens on a dark interior before he walks inside. The door shuts behind him. You give the yard a few curious glances before realizing that the pile of sticks you've been looking at is actually bones. You pull out your phone to look at it instead. Actually, if I saw a pile of bones on the ground, I'd take a picture. 10 minutes later, and stands back, carrying a large cardboard box in both hands. You see him fumble with the hands of the rear left door for a moment, before you reach back over to the seat and pop it open for him. A peek in the box reveals a few various shades of furry somethings and an animal school you don't recognize. Oh my god, he killed the pugs. This doesn't seem like something worth busting out your darkest thoughts for. We aren't by any chance robbing a bank, are we? Because I would have brought gloves. Stan laughs. No, nothing like that. He starts the car up again, and you're back on the road. So I don't think robbing a bank includes dog bones. I don't think robbing a bank includes a skeleton. Somehow, I'm not quite convinced. Well, who knows where the night's gonna take us? Could be legal. Could be not. That a problem? Can we see if you got a jeweler or need a new watch? Nope. Yeah. Nope. When in Rome, right? Stan takes the highway. The final minutes of the sunset's burnt orange and purple ahead of you, while the welcome sign for Gravity Falls disappears into the rearview mirror. A new song comes on the radio. Something bright and bouncy, with lyrics about love, and his fingers get back to tapping. Baby, you can kiss all the pretty boys you want. Shoot another shot, try to stop the feeling. In the retreating light, you can see faded patches on the rim of the steering wheel, the color worn away from decades worth of his touch. He's probably fucked you in the backseat. No, how is it? What is it called? Here, he's probably, hold on. He's probably doing, he's probably saying, knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out. Is it casual now? In the shading light, you see faded patches of the rim and steering wheel, the color worn away from decades worth of his touch. Touch you'd like. The passenger seat you sit in hasn't taken on the shape of someone specific. Even after all this time, the springs still feel brand new. Meanwhile, on the other driver's side of the car, Stan settled easily into a seat, which suits him as well as his finely tailored jacket. You tuck your leg up under its mate. leaning back into the dark leather of the Ville's interior, and watch cars pass and recede out the windshield. After a few minutes of music-backed silence, you feel like breaking it. Ask about him, ask about his car, tell a joke. Tell a joke. Okay, hold on. What? Kinda had the heart of a lion. Why are the fences around graveyards? Why do chicken coops have 2 doors? Why are there fences around graveyards? Stan glances over at you, double-checking that this is a setup to a joke. I don't know why. 'Cause people are dying to get in. Get it? Stan claps. That's pretty good. He thinks for a minute, presumably come up with a joke of his own. Alright, Blonde walks into a bank in New York City. Oh no, this isn't gonna be one of those awful blondes are dumb jokes, is it? He levels a withered look at you. Can I tell a joke? Okay, sorry. I don't know, can you? You grin with your lower lip cupped between your teeth, clearly joking as he chuckles. Anyways, Blonde walks into a bank in New York. She goes up to the bank manager and she says, I'd like to take out a loan for $5,000. I'm taking a vacation overseas. The car passes you on the highway over 20 over the speed limit, and Stan swears and then stifles it. Fuck you, car! Yeesh, night drivers, am I right? So the bank manager goes, well, miss, do you have a collateral? We need a collateral for that kind of loan. And she nods, and she says she does. And she takes the bank manager out to the parking lot where she gets a $50,000 Ferrari waiting. And she says, this is my car. You can hold on to until I pay back my loan. Stan continues glancing over at you and trying to suppress a smile. The bank manager's confused, but he figures if this lady doesn't pay, he's going to have a nice Ferrari in his garage. So he agrees. A sign for an exit ahead points off to the right, and the text reading County Road 328, and Stan takes it off the highway. So he gives the blonde her 5 Gs. She hands him the keys to the car. She heads off to Europe. A month later, she shows back up the bank with 5 Gs and the interest for the loan, which figures out about $15. Stan continues, turning down to an unlit gravel road, the headlights casting spooky shadows through the trees. The bank manager takes the repayment for the loan, and the interest hand has one of his employees bring the car out in front of the bank for the blonde. Out ahead on the road, a deer turns its face to the car, and then leaps across the road to disappear into the woods. Just before she leaves, the bank manager stops the blonde and says, Lady, I'm real confused here. You're clearly loaded enough to afford this car, and you pay back the loan, and then some. Why take out the loan if you're so rich? The lady turns to him, runs a hand through her hair, and says, where else can I park my car in New York City for 2 weeks, only $15? Damn. Hey man, that blonde was smart. Damn. She really said, I'll pay you for the parking, bro. Wow. That's cool. You burst into wild laughter and he laughs along with you. Alright, I take it back. That was the best blonde joke I've ever heard in my life. That blonde was just like, hey man, I'll pay you like 5 Gs to fucking park my car, bro. She kept the money and the car. Like, she was just like, I'm gonna need to park my car. Let me get my bank to do it. Bro, smart. Just as he finished speaking, Sam pulls off to the side of the road and the engine dies. As you step out of the car, the unearthly silence of the woods envelops the two of you. Ooh. Out in the woods ahead, you see a single bright light. You're dead. You've died. Is this the place? Just about. You follow him back to the trunk, which he opens quietly and slowly, frowning as it squeaks. What are we doing here? I know what you are. You're pale. You don't eat. You run really fast. Say it. Say the words. Your Grunkle Stan. You might not guess it looking at me, but I got a thing. What kind of thing? The two of you stare at each other for a moment and he looks a little nervous. For art. Oh, is that all? That's pretty cool. Brian's smiling in the dim of the haze of the trunk light. Well, this jump up this hill here has won by this artist, Gustav Kloning. Snuck it from right under me at an auction. I've been trying to buy it off him for years, but the jerk won't sell no matter how much I offer him. And trust me, you meet this guy, you know it's out of spite. So we're stealing it? You got it, kid. I'm surprised you haven't done this sooner. Stan laughs quietly, fishing around the duffel bag for you don't know what. Wait till you see it. It's a simple masterpiece. I've been waiting 6 months for him to go out of town. Here, take these. He pulls a pair of gloves from the bag, handing them to you. When you slide them on, they fit almost perfectly. I guess your size, right? You nod, wiggling your fingers. We're gonna kill this guy. We're gonna steal his things. Stan chuckles, pulling on a pair of his own, a set of black leather driving gloves with silver snap closures that glint in the light from the trunk. You ready, kid?
Oh, I'm ready, as I'll ever be.
Stan tucks a few things into the inner pockets of his jacket that you can't see in the low light, and with the trunk shut just as quietly as it was open, you follow him up into the woods, towards the distant light. As you near it, a porch takes shape with the lights aglow. Behind it, the dark shape of a house sits in the even darker woods. Stan leads you past the front porch and around the corner of the house, to a set of stairs that pierce to lead into a basement. This is my favorite part. He withdraws a small black shape from his pocket and something that looks like it might be a pen. The pen-shaped thing turns out to be a small flashlight, and he holds it in his teeth as he opens the black case to reveal a set of lock-picking tools. You're a lucky person, kid. You get to see the artist in action. He gets to work, inserting one tool in, wiggling it down to the bottom of the keyhole, then pulling out another and poking at the innards of the lock within it. You glance around in the darkness as he works, half expecting to get caught before you get anywhere, but then the lock clicks and Stan stands, opening the door for you with a flourish. There you go. That was so cool! He beams with pride, and you smile politely as you step through the door in front of him. The basement is unlit. It smells like dust and mildew. The air sour with wet dirt and mold. Stan moves past you into the dark, with his little pen flashlight still lit, and leads you through a cobwebby laundry room and towards the door across from the bottom of the set rickety wooden wood stairs. Wait till you see this, kid. He picks the lock of the door just as quickly as you pick the last, and the door creaks open into a dark room with odd flooring barely lit by Stan's flashlight. Stan goes first as you follow him in as he hits a light switch, revealing a beautifully designed gallery with plush scarlet carpets and gleaming wood paneling full of paintings of sad clowns. Why not? Stan looks more excited than you've seen him yet, his arms crossed over his chest and a warm smile on his face. Can you believe that hillbilly chump has a collection like this? You shake your head slowly, still looking around the room with wide eyes. Someday, all these are gonna be mine. Come on, I'll show you the one we're here to get. You follow him to the back of the room, and he stops in front of a large painting of a clown with bright red lips and blue circles on his cheeks. His eyes outlined in black with comically large eyelashes painted onto his eyelids. His neck ruff droops sadly, and his costume is dingy and worn. What do you think? It's a little creepy. Kinda niche thing, sure. Well, let's get this thing off the wall and out of here. As he works to get the clowning down off the wall, you wander through the room looking at other paintings. So you look over the portrait of a man with dirt on his white and black striped shirt. You're suddenly grabbed by your shoulders. Boo! Ah! You scream, eyes shut in fear as you throw a weak karate chop at the source of the noise, making an unimpressive contact with something solid and muscular. After a moment's panic, you squeeze whatever the thing is with your hands and open your eyes, finding... Ha! Was that supposed to hurt me? Stan's arm and shoulder. Boy, he's really packing some heat in there. Wow! He laughs, apparently pleased with himself for scaring the absolute life out of you. You need those boxing tips more than I thought. You can defend yourself from fly with moves like that. You laugh shakily, and it's then you realize you're still feeling up Stan's arm. Sorry about that. You pull your hands away a bit too fast, and he chuckles, blushing all the way up to his ears. No problem, kid. He clears his throat, and he signs between you begins to grow awkward before it's interrupted. Upstairs in what is supposed to be an empty house, you hear footsteps crossing towards the door to the basement. Stan apparently hears them too, a sudden series of expression crossing from his face from shock, to confusion, to terror, and finally setting up on indignation. He quickly takes you by the arm, whispering harshly in your ear as he drags you towards the entrance of the clown room. As soon as he comes in here, shut the door and I'll shove these boxes in front. You nod, just as the line of light from the top of the stairs blooms into a white wide swath. You and Stan duck behind a wall between the doors to freedom, one corner of the stolen painting poking you uncomfortably in the ribs. Who's in there? Slippered feet come down to the wooden steps ahead of you, and then the owner notices the light on. He holds something long and gun-shaped in front of himself. Pines, if that's you, I swear to God, I'm really gonna shoot you this time. Gun-shaped? Gun-shaped? Gun? Gun. Stan nudges you, jabbing a thumb towards the door leading outside, and jerks his head towards it. You take a step out from behind the wall, take Stan's hand in your own, pull him into a jog, and then a run. The two of you scrambling up the concrete steps out into a cool night air as a voice shouts swears behind you. Fuck you, Stan! Stan kicks the door shut on his way out, and there's a startled yelp behind you as it makes contact with the owner of the house. There's more swearing, but you lose it behind as you run, flashlight in one hand and Stan's hand in the other. When you reach the tree line, you part and maneuver your way through the bushes and brambles, Stan crashing through them behind you. As you run, a deafening gunshot goes off behind you, and you realize that you're being chased. Holy smokes, run for it! The noises get closer, close enough that you can hear your pursuer swearing continually and loudly. You slow a bit, flashing the light behind you, raising the beam to find the distant, visibly enraged face of a man with a rifle in his hands. Acting on pure instinct, you fling the flashlight in the direction of the angry man and take running off again. After a moment, the man cries out, and the sounds of pursuit fade with one final cry. Damn you, Pines! Stan cackles. Sounds like hit him. You reach Sandmobile first, sliding into the passenger seat as Stan slips his new clowning into the back seat before joining you in front. Both of you painting and huffing, Stan hurriedly starts the engine and pulls off. At the next driveway, he does the fastest three-point turn you've ever seen in your life, and then peels off down the gravel road and screeches out into the highway. Stands quiet for a second before letting loose into the wild, triumphant laughter. I thought he was going to catch me that time, for sure. Did a man just shoot at us? Stan nods, still chuckling, and apparently pretty pleased he didn't get hit. He lets out a long, loud sigh, his white-knuckled hands tending to out on the steering wheel. Yeah, that was... Holy moly, are you okay? A little shaky, but I'm good. He pulls out back the highway, back in the direction he came from, and he lapses into the comfortable silence. After a while, he starts humming along with the radio, and knowing the song's time, you hung along with him. Let's think of a song. Think of a song. Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep our desert at the Pink Pony Club. Pink Pony Club. Or we could do hold on. I don't know. Rowdy Falls' welcome sign passes by again, but the route Stan's taken doesn't seem to lead back to the shack. Instead, you come to a stop outside rows and rows of used cars. A car dealership. Stan slides out of the car, withdrawing something from a pocket within the breast of his jacket. Once you get out and around from the front bumper, you can see it's a cigar. You mind if snow? Snow? Yeah, actually I do. I have asthma, bro. You could probably kill me. No, go ahead. There's a screen, kind of dividing us. I think I'll be safe. Thanks, I don't like smoking around the kids, I'm already bad enough influence. He chuckles and withdraws a pack of matches in his pocket, and his face is bathed in the light of the flame. From your place a ways down the road, Stan surveys the lot, eyes sweeping back and forth until they land on what looks to be a fuse box into the dark, overhanging on the roof from the far side of the dealership. What are we getting? New drive belts, some smart plugs, a couple of other things. Can't remember the name of it. Aren't worth explaining. It won't take all night, though, right? He shakes his head, taking a long drag from the cigar, smoke rolling off his lips and into the night. You lean back against the front bumper of the car next to him and stuff your hands in your pockets. There isn't much light pollution around here, so the stars are bright and numerous above. Provided your car gets fixed up, this might not turn out to be such a bad trip. You take a deep breath in through your nose. The smell of sweet, heady cigar smoke and crisp night air filling in your lungs. That's pretty bad for me because I have asthma, so I might have an attack the next day. So, how are we doing this? We gotta get rid of the lights. I doubt Bud's clever enough to have night vision cameras. He laughs a little as he speaks, smoke blowing out into the night with each individual laugh. But we cut the power to the whole place, and the cameras are gonna be gone anyways. So we cut the power, find a car that's the same make and model as yours, and I dig out the parts of your car needs. An hour, maybe an hour and a half, tops. I can get the lights. Stan turns his head to look at you, waving away a fresh cloud of smoke as he accidentally exhales in your direction. You sure? Yeah, I got it. The two of you stand there in silence for a few minutes before he bends down and grinds his cigar cold on the asphalt, straightening with a groan and a huff of quiet laughter. Sheesh, starting to remember why I quit doing this kind of thing. You sure you're alright with this kid? Robbing the place? You don't think I can do it? I just literally stole something from that clown guy. No, that's not it. You've been keeping up with me just fine all night. You just don't seem like you have a lot of experience here. Now, how do you know I don't have experience stealing stuff, bro? About, 15% of the things in my room are stolen. I'm just kidding. I think I've gotten pretty experienced than I look. He smiles, a warm and genuine expression that ignites something fuzzy and soft inside you. You don't notice you're staring until he turns away and moves away towards the trunk. He reaches into the car and pulls the lever under the driver's seat of the front. He reaches into the car and pulls the lever under the driver's seat of the front seat. And the trunk pops open up. You follow him into it, and after rummaging around the contents for a minute, he brings out a pair of pliers. Alright, you go over and take care of the lights. I got a few things to get together. You crouch down behind the fence, and when you reach the lot, scrambling along in the shadows until you reach the dealership's main building with a peek over the edge, you see that the wall of the building is cast in shadow from a poorly placed streetlight. Another peek, and you spot a car the same make as yours off to the back of the lot, near a sign that says, "Discount section, big deals." Yeah, it's about to get that 5-finger discount, that's for sure. It takes an embarrassing amount of effort to get over the fence, but you manage it and press yourself flat against the wall and sink towards the fuse box. It's locked, but you pry it open with the pliers and look what's inside. A bunch of switches and some wires. Rip some wires out! Not the most elegant job, and you realize you've done it after you've done it that you're glad you're still wearing the gloves Sarah gave you from earlier, in case what you did was dangerous. The lights, however, remain unchanged. Flip a bunch of switches. You hold your breath, and nothing happens. Flip the biggest switch. With your face pinched in concentration, you push the biggest switch in the opposite direction, and the entire property goes dark. You slip the tools into your back pocket and take a look around just to make sure the power's out. With a satisfied nod, you feel your way out into the parking lot, knocking your shins on 3 separate cars before you figure out you probably should just stop and wait for Stan. "Where you at, kid?" His voice isn't far away, but he isn't close either. You feel your way around an SUV, then a sedan. The ground in the parking lot crunches under your feet, and you reflexively stare down the ground ahead of you as your eyes slowly adjust to the darkness. Out ahead of you, a flashlight turns on and scans the lot until it finds you. "Found you." He's probably like, "Found you." He sounds amused, probably at the way you're standing with your arms spread wide over a sleek modern sports car. "Getting familiar with the merchandise, yeah?" You give the car an awkward pat and make your way towards the beginning of the flashlight's beam. You see anything the same make as yours before the lights shut off? Yeah, there's one in the back in the discount section. It's kind of insulting now that you don't think about it, actually. He hands you the flashlight when you reach him, and you start slowly back towards the discount cars. $5 discount, that's for sure. 5-finger discount, that's for sure. Discount. Your car is it's a classic. You're usually extremely reliable. To be perfectly honest, it's not even your fault that it's in the state it's in. It was Ford's. And is whatever it is. You're deep in salty thoughts when hands suddenly grip your ribs on either side. Oh, ooh. Gotcha. Ah! You scream and throw it back down elbow, whatever's gotta hold you. And you hear Stan yelp and fall in the clatter of kick, gravel, and metal clanking together. Scared you again. Wow, I really got you that time, huh? Look, smokes, kid. You turn the flashlight to where you heard him fall, and you heard him with a hand cupped over his face, blood dribbling out between his gloved fingers. Yeah, I deserved that one. Oh, I'm really sorry. No, I'll be alright. Just help me up. You tuck the still lit flashlight into your back pocket for a moment, reaching down and finding his hands in the dark to pull him up. Once he's on his feet, you retrieve the flashlight from your pocket. As you bring the beam to Stan's face, you find him holding a handkerchief over his nose and squinting. He's apparently brought a backpack with him, and it's sitting on the ground behind him where he's presumably dropped it where you elbowed him. You know, that was really a solid hit. Got a lot of power in there. I don't know if you were just saying it to be nice earlier, but I really could show you some moves. Teach you how to direct that strength. Yeah, that sounds fun. He moves the hanky from his nose for a moment, gently prodding at the bridge of his nose with finger and frowns. Well, it's not broken, that's for sure. That's good. He laughs quietly, taking a clean corner of the handkerchief and dabbing at his nose with it, grimacing and sniffling hard when it comes back to still clean. Good to go. Are you sure you're alright? Yeah, of course. I've gotten worse beings than that, believe me. His face is flushed from the sudden injury, but he does look otherwise okay, so you sigh and plant your hips on your hips. Your hands on your hips. Then let's finish this. He reaches out towards you, then catches a glimpse of the blood and reconsiders, wiping his gloves as clean as he can with his hanky. When you reach the car you spotted earlier, he pops the hood and drops his pack on the ground next to the bumper, unzipping it to reveal a jumble of various wrenches and tools. Alright, hold the flashlight steady in the engine and keep an eye out. Alright, hold the flashlight ready. Keep a lookout like he told you to. You don't want to get caught, right? It doesn't take long for him to get what he needs for your car, shutting the hood and setting his pack on it as he stuffs parts into it. That was quick. Now, the parts you needed are easy to find. Just take so, right? Hey, what's going on here? That you, bud? The beam of flashlight finds you both, and Stan turns around quickly, leaving the bag behind himself on the hood. Yeah? Pines? What the heck is happening to your face? What are you doing here at? Hey, are you stealing parts again? No. Stan inches closer to you until your shoulders touch, and behind you he pushes the bag onto your hands before lowering his voice to speak to you. Run for it. Keep the bag out of sight. Toss it into some bushes nearby. I'll get it later. You nod, picking up the bag and holding it behind yourself. The flashlight by the road moves closer, and you slowly scoot away from the car and backwards. Hey, you, where are you going? You move backwards a little faster, still keeping the bag out of sight. And when the light leaves you to check on Stan, you make a break for it towards the back fence, throwing the bag over ahead of you. A new voice nearby speaks and yelps. Hey, where are you going, burglar? Hold on. I know who it is. Yeah. Hey, where you going, burglar? You're under arrest for burglary. There's a shout from Stan behind you, and then a heavy thud, and one of the car alarms starts squealing. You're so surprised by the alarm that the second cop gets his hands around your wrists and slaps a pair of handcuffs on you. You better quit your squirming there, buddy. We caught you fair and square. Oh, come on, Blubs. You saved the time from an interdimensional demon. Give me a break. Sorry, Stan. We got a job to do. Stan grumbles quietly, and the man behind you leads you towards the road behind Stan and Blubs, who's still got cuffs. You need to get out of this, but how? Go for the cop's gun! You close the space between you and the cop behind you, reaching for your hands and back, searching for his holster, but not finding it. When something moves between your fingers, you grab it, bringing it back. Well, you're not sure what it is, but it feels like it might be a key, so you slip it into your back pocket. Ah, shoot, darling, we don't have the cruiser. Me and my DS romantic strolls in the moonlight. Oh, shoot, darling, we don't have the cruiser. Me and my DS romantic strolls in the moonlight. Why don't we just command Stan's car? Do you mean commandeer? I don't know. Edwin, darling, you are an absolute delight, and I cherish you, having you as my life partner. Darling giggles behind you, and Blubs giggles with him. They're so gay for each other, guys. The two of them push you and stand into the back of the seat of his car, grabbing you in with this clowning. Stan grips it protectively, muttering under his breath about the buzz. He's quiet for the most of the ride, only speaking up once. You okay? I'm as okay as I can be since I've been arrested. He falls silent after you spawn and stays that way all the way to the back of the station. Inside the station, Derlin leads you to a pair of chairs picked by a desk and Blubs disappears down a hallway. Blubs is back after a few minutes. Deep frown set into his face, and after directing his frown at Derlin, he takes you and stand down another hallway set of stairs. At first, he withdraws a set of keys and opens the door. You and Stan are uncuffed, and with a solid, somewhat alarming clang, the cell door shuts and locks. You two better get comfortable, but get your prints in the morning. Stan grumbles, settling down onto one of the provided bunk beds, and you sit down on the one next facing him. He peels off his gloves, tucking them inside out into his pocket, and fiddles with loose thread on the thin wool blanket on the bunk bed. Through the door at the end of the hallway, you hear Derling say something about fancy black finger paints to Blubs. Here in the bright fluorescent lights, you can see that he still has a bit of blood smeared under his nose and on his chin. You feel a flush of embarrassment when you remember that you're the one who did that to him. Are we really in jail right now? Am I having some kind of nightmare? Well, this is not so great. Or, I can't wait to see how everyone back home reacts when they find out I've been arrested. I can't wait to see how everybody reacts when I'm arrested. How are we gonna get out of here? Stan shrugs, crossing his arms over his chest and flopping back into the mattress. Don't think we can, kid. I'll see if I can convince them that you got hypnotized or something into coming along with me. Keep you out of trouble. Listen, if you're going down for this, then so be it. He laughs quietly, propping himself up in his elbows. You don't want to get in trouble with the law, kid. Trust me. This is my first time spending the night in jail. Not by a long shot. Sounds rough. Yeah, well, so it goes. This won't be so bad compared to the 5 years in the Colombian prison. There's a story behind that, but he doesn't look like he wants to tell it at the moment. Anyway, the only way we're getting out of here is with the keys. Then we could just slip out a window or something. You think for a moment. Stuffing your hands in your pockets. Suddenly remember the thing when you grabbed off the second cop, Derlin. Oh, wait! You jump to your feet and dig into your back pocket, withdrawing the small metal thing you stole to find that it's a ring of official-looking keys! You hold the keys in front of yourself, then jingle them triumphantly. Look what I got off of Derlin! Stan stares at your hand in disbelief, then at you, then the keys, and back at you again, before laughing incredulously. Are you sure you don't have experience with this kind of thing? Stan takes the keys from you, looking over in his palm. He smiles up at you and then looks down at the keys and covers his mouth with his hand, dragging it down over his chin. Can't believe I've been shown up by a tourist. We'll get used to it, buddy, 'cause I've got skills. He looks proud, smiling up at you like you just handed him $1 million. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get the heck out of here. He stands as you reach through the bars and try the keys until one works. The door swings open with a quiet creak, and you creep out down the hallway to the door. You open it a crack, looking out into the lobby and see Blubs asleep at the front desk. Derlin not inside. Slowly, you pull the door open and move into the lobby. Stan taps your shoulder and whispers low. We gotta get my keys. You see him anywhere? You glance around and spot them next to the where Blubs is asleep, Jewel pulling on the table. Shoot! Crossing your fingers for luck, you sneak over to the desk and reach down to grab them when suddenly Blubs stares and mumbles. Dang Bigfoot, stealing my shoes, stretching all my shoes. Stan snorts behind you and manages to suppress the laugh as you pluck the keys away. Wait, hold on! Stan disappears into another room, and you're stunned, wondering what the hell he could be doing right now that's more important than escaping. Before you have the chance to call him something you might regret later, he appears in the door with the troublesome clown painting on his arm. Seriously? Duh. Alright, let's roll. Slipping out with only a click of the station door closing behind you, you and Stan climb into his car and escape into the night. After stopping by Bud's dealership to pick up the hidden backpack, you and your partner in crime head back to the shack, comfortable silence. You feel tired if it weren't for the adrenaline. You carry the backpack inside while Sam brings in the clowning from the briefcase, setting both on the kitchen table. I'd call that a successful night. Even though we got arrested, so would I. You're fine, too. You grin over him, realize in the bright kitchen light that he's still got blood in his face. How do you keep forgetting? You're the one who helped him, after all. You've got... Well, come here. You pull one of the chairs out from under the table, gesturing for him to sit down. Whoa! That's so detailed! Whoa, he looks really detailed right now, guys. He looks a little wary, but obvious. Oh. He looks a little wary, but obeys. The chair's ancient metal frame creaking under his weight. You grab a couple paper towels, turning on the faucet in the sink and wetting them. clean him up. Mentally steadying yourself, you hold the side of his face and neck in your hand. With gentle pressure, you guide his head to tilt back until he's lifted up fully by the overhead light. You can feel him blush under your hand, his skin heating up, and he seems too surprised to protest or even speak as you wipe the now dry blood from his face. He's quiet while you work, watching you with warm, brown eyes rimmed by dark lashes. I could have taken care of this myself, you know. He says this, but he hasn't pulled away or made any move to leave. I did damage. Least I could do is clean up after myself. Anyway, I've done plenty as it is. The paper towels you have become too soiled to work with, so you toss them into the trash and go back to get a few more. Your hand returns to his cheek, and you could be bandaging things, but it almost feels like he leans into it. I really did have a good time with you tonight. I had no idea your crime could be so fun. He smirks, avoiding your gaze. I had a good time too. Pause for a moment, realizing something. Those cops aren't gonna come after us, are they? Stan shrugs. Probably not. They're nice enough guys, but not exactly competent. You laugh quietly as he smirks up at you. You stand back to make sure you finish and toss the last paper towels into the trash. You sure it's not broken? Nah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Your hand lingers on his cheek. Say goodnight or hug him. Well, good night. Sleep tight. You brush your teeth and change into your pajamas, and it's not until you get into your bed that you realize you're still smiling. The rush from it all hasn't completely faded, but after a while your eyes grow heavy and you drift off to sleep. Nobody back home is ever gonna believe this. Love meter, yeah! Call the caterers, I hear wedding bells. Looks like this is actually working out. Someone thumps their fist on the storage room door, stirring you from sleep with a jolt and a thud as you fall off the mattress. We're gonna actually save this here. Okay. Find Summer's wedding, what the hell? Alright. See you later, I guess.